Sanje Chedan Zoje Jono La Shanje Bada Dana Jazamje Dage Chishe Jebe Sanamje Rola Benja Sanje Draba Jo Sanje Chedan Zoje Jono Dana Jazamje Dage Shanto Jebe Sanamje Rola Benja Sanje Draba Jo Sanje Chedan Zoje Jono Shanje Bada Dana Jazamje Dage Chishe Jebe Sanamje Rola Benja Sanje Draba Jo. Okay.
So manifested.
Good evening, good morning, everyone again. Morning, some people. Morning here. Okay. You guys hear me? The little boy. Yeah, you guys hear me? Okay. How are you? Okay.
I'm still breathing.
That's good. That's good. It is a wonderful, that we practice Buddhism. The main goal is to, achieve enlightenment, but it is very far away, right? We think. And I think another goal is just keep our symbol way. Symbol way. Symbol way means, keep a mindfulness of our body and speech mind. I think this is the important to aware what we're doing, what we're thinking, things like that. Good to see you.
You too.
Yeah. Oh, you have to move. That's good. Yeah. Okay. Today we have Tamchu, they will go through the book. They will not talk to other things, okay? Too much. Anyway, it's, you cannot change one day our, habit and our, personality. But slowly, keep the mind to symbol way. Something, if we have like $10, we're looking for buy something maybe $11. This country, no one keep the free. We cannot say, okay, I will bring tomorrow. India, Nepal, you can put your name there. Okay, I will bring next day. And the monks also, when it was monastery, we have those restaurants. And you go to puja, if you got some money, that you don't have money. You go to have some tuba, you put a name there. Okay, I want to put name by name. Some people say no names. Keep them a month because you cannot pay back. You can do that, but here, I think no one do that, right? Therefore, if we have like $10, we want to buy like more than $10. It's very stressful for us, right? Yes, Karikari. Yeah, they'll send the bill again. Like that. Therefore, something we can do, you just keep doing that, not just looking for overwhelm, because if we don't have the ability to do that, then we try to do that, it doesn't work, it's very, stress for us. Therefore, basic things, of course, we have to think about the many lifetimes, future lifetimes, that remember the kindness of all mothers and beings, but very simple way, it's past, already past, they'll not come back. If very bad things happen, or good things happen, just rejoice. The future is not yet here. The person, what's the person? Present, at the present moment, what if we have just rejoiced that? I think this is a very basic daily life. Otherwise, to worry, we never stop the worry all our life until we die. We just thinking, keep doing things, keep planning. Okay? That's for daily practice. And I'm going to start today's book. Then this book we're going to is all called, it's not easy to understand. It's not simple way, but it gives some influence for our mind, okay?
And so today we're going to go from the Chitta Mantra, Mind Only School. And so the previous two, Vaivashika and Sautantika, they are from the Mahayana tenets. Sorry, Vinayana tenets, and this one, is the Mahayana tenet. According to Mahayana tradition, of course, Mahayana teaching is Buddha's teaching, considered Buddha's teaching, but the Hinayana tradition is not considered the Mahayana teachings to be a Buddha's teaching.
Okay. 아니 산지 까이베 디젤라야 아니 우마르친트와다 아니 노데제나 도게 바바다 아니 쇼줄레가 좋아 그러나라 아니 다 대화치 못 산지 까득고요.
And to prove that Mahayana teaching is Buddha's teaching, then they have quoted in many different texts. In the precious garland, and then ornament of clarification, and then the 10th chapter of the Guide to the Buddhist Way of Life. Okay, so it's 9th chapter of the Guide to the Buddhist Way of Life. Yeah, so because after Buddha passed away, the teachings of the Mahayana tradition has declined a lot.
아니 대만 냠네 아니 로 십작 질래야 나 산지가 롱때 나 냥는데 로 시작 질래야 아니 공부를 써야지 로쇼나 배그리 되게야 아니 산지가 대화치 못 가디야 그래서 롱때 거야 말이.
And there is also actually prophecy from Buddha. From Buddha's time, Buddha mentioned that after 400 years after he passed away, there will be a master called Nagarjuna who will come in the south. So there is this kind of prophecy already prophesied by Buddha himself.
남중에도 시에서로 됐던 거네 아니 상제가 때만 냠르고 가라야 예진리드는 뭐 류야나 데니슈스 말이스 이 류는 야데니슈가 진리드는 다나 안에 네팔 북에 사실이야 제도 고도래라도 얘는 미시.
So, so it is said that when Buddha passed away, all the teachings of the Mahayana, like the Perfection of Wisdom Sutra, was taken by the Nagas to the Nagaland, and then later, when Nagarjuna came into this world, then he brought them up from the Nagaland, from the Naga realm, and it is said that the place where he went into the Nagaland and where he came from, there's an entrance, like a doorway, it's in Nepal.
Watch and the tatology is over. Although we went to remember, didn't able to see that.
Swambunat, Monkey Temple, they call it Monkey Temple.
I didn't know it was there. I thought it was Ember showed us.
Yeah.
Is it at Swambunat?
Swambunat, yeah, Swambunat, yeah. It's in Swambunat, there's a door. They say that before they say the whole Kathmandu Valley was a lake, a big ocean, like a lake. That's where the Nagas were inside there. And then later Manjushri came and cut the mountain with his sword, and then the water flowed down to all the land, different places. And then the Swambunat stupa appeared from there. And they say it was there in Nagaland.
And that's on the German the Kenyaland, they will look good job. And power that any Chimbo Opena, Omapegi, she Chitango Omapegi. She did a sort of any mobility we are so much.
And then, so after 400 years, and when Nagarjuna came, then he revived, the Mahayana teachings. So they call it the pioneer, of the Mahayana teaching, because, and then, so there was a way, but it was all lost. There was all weeds and trees growing on the road, and then nobody ever went on that. And they thought there's no such path. But then later, when he cleared all the weeds and plants and trees, and then you see the path is like that. They call it pioneer.
And then Sanjay Kunyan look good job, and Papa Tome Pepsi, and the Tiger, the symptom again, and that the so.
So Nagarjuna came after 400 years, and then he revived, the teachings, the Mahayana teachings, especially the Madhyamika, the middle way school tradition. And then for 900 years later, after Buddha passed away, then Asanga came, and then he revived these teachings on the Chittamatra schools.
And that they do come to that day, and it done to the golden down, and the Yimjin to the pouch, like a ship in the water look.
And so these are all source to these different sutras, like a Lankashri Sutra, and then ornament of the sutra and so forth.
The pouch at the moment. And Tanajing it take come to the day, and I didn't join any banani, and Jata Shamango, so Ungutogen, the Shanship Denga, or the Tolokoto, so one.
Then also those are sourced back to like the Maitreya's teachings, and the economy of the race, one of them. There's like the 5 works of Maitreya. We can, it will also source to those teachings.
And the kanji and Papa Tome Kuranga, Sadenga, the Domnumni Sekaji, Ichumandava, do something, and it seems to be Tawadama, Karuma, so Jawambare.
So Asanga himself composed these 7 treatises or scriptures on the 5 grounds and the Sadhana and the 2 ornaments like that.
And it seems to me that Tawan Tinala and Louis.
And so there are also other masters who are holding this view of the Chittamatra school. It's like the Vasubandhu,
and
then the Dignaga, and then Dharmakirti.
And so Lama Seliba, or the Zotat and Mambo Shtamambo that and be touch over everybody.
The more current one that we have heard is Lama Selingpa. So those are the like the most well-known masters of the Siddha Martin school.
And so Geshe ani ta kuje tele semseme tawazo kuje mela ya ani umawe panjunga jogata. Geshe ya ani chidang umawe kalarani umawe tas karo tunda mo bala ya ta dijala dije ongi gube ongi ya semseme tawazo ne yosare.
So some of these masters or practitioners were the holders of the Siddha Martin view in the earlier part of their life. In the later part of their life, they became the holder of the proponent of the Madhyamika or the middle way view. Then some of them, like they're actually proponent of the Madhyamika view, but in the to help or to benefit sentient beings or disciples, they appear as a proponent of the Siddha Martin school.
어디 제다 아니 같이 두 전이야 아니 우마보다 semseme 니게 담바디야 술 전에 다단데 바네 되요래.
Anyway, like that, both tradition, both schools like the Siddha Martin and the Madhyamika schools were revived like that, and then still continuing to exist to this time.
제다 파디 주라고 바네 재미콜라 빼면좀 뭐 보소요.
Like Dharma Kirti has taught a lot about the valid cognitions.
아니 로이니가 다 그런 이제 차서던 조콜이야 안 좋았어.
And Vasubandhu has taught about the Abhidhamma Kosha or the phenomenology, how the world was formed and so forth.
로이니는 삼성대 샘섬이라도요. 얘네가 뭐 시라마거든 또 많이 하게 작은 도와. 아무데.
And so like Vasubandhu, in his earlier part of his life, he was the opponent of the Hinayana school. Right? So he was always against the Mahayana school, saying that Mahayana school is not Buddha's teaching.
어다 간다 되네 다 로지는 거든데 되네 좋네 가지 샘섬에 따르게 다 단다 내 만족 내 대요래 내 대요다.
So like that, that's how it came about, and the Manavana school view still exists at this time.
Okay. 아직 다는 눈에 가는 로이다 다 선바 샘섬에 로셔 발라 사진 나타 되면서 다 가성에는 맞아 사실 뒤집어지지 않래.
And we're now going to start from the text. It says the Siddha Martin system is explained by the way of 7 divisions as before, so just like before.
아니 당보도 가령 너무 당보도 대니 여와 다시 유진에서 유진에서 다음에서 임바.
And so that's the definition, division, right? Etymology, and the mode of exerting the objects, mode of exerting the subject, and
유진에서
and then the mode of exerting the selflessness.
예, 아니 알음이 납자들어.
And then the presentation of the broad paths and grounds.
예. 어야 다들 다 샘섬마서 다들 말다 다 생이가 나 슈데 미데치스. 네 쇼르데 바켈랑 말레스 라리 데마트데 팀지트. 예진트 담요 강다 데이터 샘섬에 생이레스.
So now the definition of the Siddha Martin school. So is one who propounds Mahayana tenets and does not assert external objects, but asserts self-cognizer to be truly existent.
슈든 케밀에다 간제 데체 참멜에 서베 라파세데 슈든샤 에 켈레마나 아니 슈데 켈레마 데마나 켈말렘바 요럭도.
So the external object means so any kind of object that is formed from the gross particles is the external objects, and so the one who doesn't assert that there is such kind of object is called someone who does not assert the external object.
다라는 데다 가지 봐. 라리 데르데 다리 내와지 내와 맞아 데마트원데 그래서.
And then the self-cognizer is same as what we have talked before about the self-cognizer in different schools, right? And not only they assert the self-cognizer, but they assert the self-cognizer to be a truly existent.
네 간제 라리 땡이 보래. 땡이 보 강이 발라니 정원라 그래. 정원이나 되는 거 그래. 스테이션도 막 그런 거 다다들 그래.
And then the self-cognizer is a thing according to the Siddha Martin school. the self-organized is a thing. So if it is a thing, it has to be other power phenomena. So other power phenomena. So the phenomena that has to depend on the power of others, right? So other power phenomena, and if it is other power phenomena, then it has to be truly extant. So this is the Chitta Martin's view.
어지. 아니 다 아니 샘섬바 남리 바는 주셔봐는 대치레스.
This is Chitta Martin, vision of Baden, and then the Yogacharan are mutually inclusive.
간지 삼로 따다가 전에 추담지 샘지 다녀드는 바는 샘섬마스.
So they call it the mind only. So there's all the phenomena are considered as a nature of a mind, a mere nature of mind. So therefore, it's called a mind only.
아 추담지 남바리 다녀드는 남리 삼도 그래스 되나 남리 파스.
And then the aspectarian or the vision of Tivadin is or aspectarian. So all the phenomena are considered just as an aspect, and therefore it's called aspectarian.
아니 난주 쇼보 나 간지 난주 쇼베 사시세지 냠내체 간지 냠데 냠베나 강사가 담에 도베 난주 쇼바 아니 니 동에 또 난주 쇼바서 텐데 간지 냠내게 제당에 차네 라고 요레스.
They call it the Yogacharan because they practice the 4 grounds of yoga, such as like the yoga of selflessness and the yoga of the impermanence and so forth. So there are like 4 grounds of yoga that they practice, and therefore it's called Yogacharan.
예. 근데 다 샘섬을 이와가는 샘섬을 이와만은 니요레스.
And now the division, there are 2 kinds of Chitta Martin school.
늘 마셔도 그 텔레비전으로 요르다. 샘섬 남 덴바나 남 덴바스와.
And this is so it's a true aspect and a false aspect, Chitta Martin.
아 아니 담보 샘섬아 강화 임발라. 전도스나 만나 간지 아니 담에 마토베 강사 이스. 조조라파 나위 차라 머리 파차 제레팜 알레팜 마슈바는 거다 담보 남 덴바스레스.
So the first one is his definition of true aspectarian. True aspect, Chitta Martin is Chitta Martin who asserts that the part of the appearance that appears as a gross form through our form apprehending direct perceiver in an ordinary being's continuum is not polluted by the propensities of ignorance.
얘가 답변은 안 좋은데 메토드나 메토 까원나 까원 뭐는 뭐 강, 요바더라 봐 강, 나와 타라 레스 엘라코 아니 놈들이 껴잡요 말해서라고 했다.
And so like when we're looking at this flower, whatever color of the flower is, that color is appearing to us. Like if it's blue, it appears as blue. If it's white, it appears as white. If it's yellow, it appears as yellow. So there's no pollutant that pollutes on our vision of that flower.
그러니까 간지 전통 라파 전통기 변화 왕실라 아니 시로고 주라바 강 나와지 쳐봐인자 아니 가로 남 덴바스 된다고다 콘렉치레스.
So just as it appears to us, it exists in the same way like that. Therefore, it is called true aspect.
가나 데베데 수레스 다라 트데르 데르 대팔 그쪽에요 말해서와.
Whatever appears is the form, and it's existing just as like that. So there's no problem in there.
아, 남 정말 말 대말했어. 나도 나다오더니 죽대로 가 나와도 전에 수치는 말했어. 대 말이 빠잘 해버려. 된 노래였어. 저렇게 들어가 한 거였어.
But the false expectation is saying that no, it's not like that. Whatever appears to us is all false. It is polluted by ignorance. It's not like what it appears to. The external object is not like what it appears to us.
What you can think? We think.
Think about what exactly.
Yeah. Think about what?
What do you think? Is it existing just as it appears to us, or is existing not as it appears to us?
Ultimately, not as it appears to us.
당 남도까지 남도 메토카고 간 통화도 하라 말이 메토카고 요 말이야.
So it's the white flower is what appears to us, right? Is it really white flower or no? So it is not white flower.
According to our senses, it's a white
Yes.
flower.
Yeah.
But if you had a microscope, you'd see the cells in the, well, if you had an electron microscope, you see it. So how do you say ultimately, but from our side, it's a white flower.
Yeah, it says in the definition of the direct perceiver of ordinary being.
Ordinary being, yeah.
Right. So then the answer is yes. I mean,
So it appears, it exists just as it appears to us, right?
from our side.
No, the flower exists. This is a white flower, and that's it appears. It appears as white flower to me,
So
and
how
it exists as white flower.
Is, but how it exists ultimately is different. Just we're limited by our perception.
Mhm.
I can't hear something from far away, or like if I look in the sky, I see something based on my perceptions. My eye can't see Jupiter, but if I have a telescope, oh, now I see it. So from a subjective,
통계지어라가.
아.
통계지어라가. 주비터 통계지어라.
통조대.
그 통과예요, 뭐라고.
예. 입군동.
So I know we're talking about you in general, right? You're not like specifically you, Mark, but in general you, So someone is able to see the Jupiter, right? As a being in the Jupiter, maybe who can see the Jupiter.
아, 저도 저한테나 그냥 샘송에 비. 다음에도 나한테 메토드 까고 해왜 다른 해왔네. 먼저 삼아 해라 그러와.
So if someone would ask you, is the white flower that appears to you as a white, it's really white, right?
먼저 해라 그러와.
Is it or no? This flower is not white?
제다.
to my perception, it's white.
Yes. So to us,
If I
yeah.
have jaundice, it would look yellow. If I was blind, it would look like nothing.
Yeah, I'm not saying you're blind. You're not blind. You see,
Ordinary, typical
we
beings.
are the ordinary person. What we see right now is a reality, right? You think there's something wrong behind that? Above wearing the glass, being more clear. Right? 제가 점점 남 대마스데 가능한 다르 대고 노래션 이거 말고 다른 레스.
According to the true aspect Chitta, that's what they're saying. That it is just like it appears to us.
다남 덤바 말만 안 나 대양 총된 아니 그 머리 바짝에 될 줘요 레스. 제가 미시 마도나 그 따다 통고 말레스. 나 미시 거는 세워도도 미시 마고 뒤로 줘요 레스라고.
And so, like, what appears to us is not exactly how it exists, because our appearance, the appearance to us is not clear. Like when we don't wear glasses, what we see is not clear. It's a blur, right? Is it really blur? That letter itself is little blur? No, it's just that how it appears to us as a blur. So now when we wear glasses, then it appears clear. So the letter itself is clear, but to our eyes, it was blurred, right? Before we wear the glasses. But after we wear the glasses, then it's, so therefore there is something wrong with our eye. Like to our appearance, there is something wrong with our perception. And that's why it appears like that, but it does not really exist in that way. That's what it's saying. So the post-act spectrum is saying that our perception is polluted by ignorance of something, and therefore things do not exist just like they appear to us.
Yes.
Usually you're not saying, you're just talking about a sense direct perceiver. Like,
Yeah.
So all we're talking about is the aspect
That's
of
I
we're
when you
talking
say
about
I.
that it seems like it's inherently existing.
No.
You're just talking about the aspect of what.
Yeah.
When we say without glass, it's not really clear. It's like something nam zambar with dog mantos. Kuranga dogmata. Time we say the conjuda, to say what
Like false act spectrum is saying like that. So when we just look like that, just look at it, it appears in some way, not the real of it. Like when you don't wear glasses, you don't see it. It's like a blur. But when you wear glasses, you see it clearly like that.
But to the person with blurry vision, in his or her mind,
Yes.
it's real, blurry. What else could it be?
No, the letter itself is clear. But if it's really if the letter itself is blurry, then it should be blurry to everybody. So, but to some people it's not blurry, some people it's blurry. So that shows that to whom it appears a blurry, then it means there's a problem with that person.
Oh, 머리 바짝 해야 돼. 다 머리 바짝 해야 되나? 그 블러드 집어 지게 떼줘요. 그래서
That's what it's saying here is the continuum is not polluted by the propensities of ignorance. The propensities of ignorance is polluted by propensity of ignorance. So it's similar to that, like problem with our vision.
오케이. 다들 되니 저들이 다들 이나 가대나 이나 말 없으면 단대 빼니 저를 그랬어.
So then there's so that's about the false expectation, right? So the false expectation is continuum is polluted by the propensities of ignorance, therefore it does not exist the way it appears to us. So now this itself is like the true expectation, right? So there are like these three types of true expectations, and these are quite interesting.
장님아 공원시에서 만나서 님의 봤어.
This is the proponent of an equal number of subjects and objects, and half-agists and non-pluralists.
단대 문에 단 트리베다 시단 군람을 단대 시단 소선 담으로 문 거였어.
So this is very similar, to the scientist explanation.
안돼도 저거나 다 샤말을 다 하고 그런 거 베르플라고 나왔어. 샤말로 들어오더라다 안에 대때문에 미시대 파다 외쳐 나들어. 자원들이 미시대 찾아봐 되고 갑라세요다. 아니 다 이걸 그런 게 아니 샤말로 요 소소 아래 만다워리 까보 놓고 뭐서 가가 파 고샤기 어렸어. 근데 이쪽에 뭐냐 안에 비에다 가 샤반이 당하는지 튼튼도 그랬어. 호텔 안에 저 장님 발라고 그랬어.
The proponent of equal number of subject and object. Then it says here, proponent of an equal number of subject and object assert that when a visual consciousness apprehending the various colors on the wings of a butterfly apprehends the various colors from the object side and aspect of each different color, blue, yellow, etc., appears, and also from the subject side, consciousness is produced that apprehends the aspect of each different color, blue, yellow, etc., accordingly. So therefore, it's called the equal number of subject and object.
Yeah, what you guys? 아, 만족도 찾아봐라. 돈을 줘도 찾아봐는데 돈도 이게 육 찾아봐라. 강하여 이제 얘 상대님 이제 밖에 돈도 해주는 갈등.
Just like there's various colors, of a color, on butterfly's wings, right? There are many different kind of color on the butterfly wings, just like there is on the object. And all the mind, it appears to mind, the mind is able to see those objects, those different colors also. So just as there are many different kind of objects, there's also a different kind of subject of mind that can apprehend all these different kind of colors.
근데 저도 좀 나중에서 소소 빨카카가도 이따가 조카카가도 회카카 요만이 되게 장관님이 있다 무시봐 이거들하고 대는 그 장님 봤어.
So just like you see, when you're looking at the Zoom, right, you see many people on the Zoom, and so there are, just as there are many number of people on the Zoom, you look at them and you also see that many, so you as the subject, so you are able to have a perception of all these different people, and that many perceptions of the people, just as there are that many people on the Zoom. So it's just like similar to like that.
제가 가는 카카이 이 머리 장가들 시발이 째서도 시바치가 하고 있어.
And so so there is a number of so there are many number of perception according to the many number of objects, or is it just one perception apprehending many different objects?
Okay.
What do you think?
That is the Tanya 시바치자요. 그래서 what do you think?
One perception, many objects.
No, but this is saying the equal number of the perception, subject and object. So if there are 4 people that you're looking at appearing to you, and you're apprehending 4 people, then there's like a 4 perception.
빼는데 쇼가 자유로워. 누구지만 그지 들어오면 아주 쉬나. 나도 돈을 잡지 찍고 쉬어다니나. 네 쇼 담은 입을 벌어라 용을 다 이거도요 말.
So like, if there are many pages on the book, right? If you were to stab or shoot, a bullet or something goes through that, for us it's like this, boom, just one time like that. But in reality, it has gone through all the pages or not?
It's not simultaneous.
No.
The equal number of
Subject and object.
subject and object are the
저는
lines.
니는 파다나
simultaneously?
니는 아니 파다나 가도 저대 대말 소소서 이 강하여 받기 집어져 시바치려서 나요서.
Shibam, you Shiana Shabashi.
시바 이거 시는 시바시 이거는 시바가.
Yeah, according to this, it's saying that however many number of objects there are, that many perceptions.
배전 내가 쇼자야나 쇼자데 코를 보고 막 부딪히 보고 말했어.
So like if there are 100 pages in this book, when something goes through that, when you make a hole into that, it makes hole to all the pages, not just one page.
이거 봐.
Serially.
I'm thinking one mind apprehending many
Objects.
objects.
내가 다른데 말한데 그런 도스마로 쓰면 돼. 찍대 담보들라 누구 전이면나 시방 이 자야나 시바자고 그랬어.
Yeah, so that is three, assertions, like three different views, right? So that's one view. It says that equal number of subject objects. So if there are 100 objects, then there are also 100 subjects apprehending those 100 objects.
다 아니 뒷니바데 다 뒷니가 요즘 자금이 이제 자원 준비 지금 무슨 만다버리래. 만나 봐도 다 열고 그런 거니 그게 공부도 세워가가 그거 말할 수 있다고 그래서. 근데 이체적인 거는 파다고 갈아야 내 뒷니를 게 맞춰봐들어야 아니 공시 잡으려 그래서 제가 좀 깨고 말했어.
Then it says a half eggs, right? And asserts that when the various colors are apprehended from the object side, an aspect of each different color, blue, yellow, etc., appears, but from the subject side, consciousness is produced that does not apprehend the aspect of each different color, blue, yellow, etc. accordingly. So that's called half eggs.
Okay? 내 저도 편에 열 그런 거는 그거 그거 뭐 봐. 여되나요? 이 친구는 그거 봐. 그러니까 좀 듣고 말했어.
Well, like from the subject side, it's kind of limited, When there are like 100 objects there, you can't see all at the same time. You maybe see only like 10 of them or 20 of them like that. So that's called the half eggs.
예. somebody 인디 친구는 공부도 이제 아니 열 그런 거는 아니 지금 차든지 나와 봐도 카가 까보 마보 너무 착한 파트에 도고 말했어. 아니 다 하는 이 친구는 무슨 말을 남매도 맞아. 말을 카가 맞아 왔지. 차든지 남매도 게. 차든지 게 그래서 텔레 나도니 뭐라 그래서.
Then non-pluralist says that, and the non-pluralist assert that when various colors are apprehended from the object side, an aspect of each different color, blue, yellow, etc., does not appear, but an aspect of a mere conglomeration appears, and from the subject side, apprehending the aspect of each different color, blue, yellow, etc., is not produced, but apprehending the mere conglomeration is produced. So like that, that's called the pluralist, non-pluralist.
Okay, now which one more makes sense? Yeah.
Like the non-pluralist.
Yeah, I'd say.
Which one? Tamati.
Last one.
그게 됐대 차트지. 방원에 고가가면서 딱가로. 차트지 나부터 봐셔야면서. 찍. 저는 누구 꼴람 누구 빼 내년으로 사오게 돼. 공룡 사오래. 내 안에 셔츠만 하면 뭐 이거.
Yeah, so these are all make sense for different people, right? So it's all a little bit complicated. So people have different view about that.
내래 yes.
I'm just curious, Geshe, is there are true aspectarians and more prominent than false aspectarians? Like, how are there more followers?
간데 댕기랬어요. 간데 댕기랬다. 간데 축책이랬다. 아니요, 간데라 담이 벌써 this 중에 간데 먹어요. 간데라 먹어.
세상 가도 가득입니다. 근데 근데 자사지는 그럽지 되는지 나라 봐. 근데 또 되고 있어. 근데 이렇게 장단님배 시바 장단님배 제가 어디라 가로 아주도 장님 말라 그랬어. 근데 일찍이 시바치기 일찍이 동안들라 공셔서 올라 그랬어. 시바치기 이 몸부터 동안들라 안에 나토님 올라 그랬어. 다 도도로 들으셔서 그래. 대고 되는 거죠. 이 자사지는 그럽지 지가 손다.
So I don't know if it's just an mature or could explain, but in a sense anyway. So if there is like 100 objects, and you have 100 minds. That's called the equal number of aspect and the subject object. And then and so, but there's a
일찍 시바칙. 일찍은 시바칙. 일찍은 시바칙. 일야. 일찍 시바칙도 그래서 공시 쓰셔서 어디지. 아니
유망보다 쉐바
일몽보다 시바칙도 그래야 돼. 근데 나손님에 봤어야 돼.
그래서
담한테.
유직라
일찍은 시바칙.
일단
내 공시에서 어디지.
그런데 유전에서 가서 돼.
이제 일찍
유전이 다녀보대.
아니 근데 다 가는 그 마모셔야. 일자이나 아니 시바자고 그래서 대담보지. 아 일찍 그 시바칙도 그래서 이바는 너무 자동이다.
그렇죠.
이바듯이 그 단대도 잘다. 아니 다일 시바칙이 말해. 시바칙이 일 뭐부터 그랬어야 돼. 담아대 나서님 봐대.
There's like the first one is many object with many subjects. Recognizing many objects with many subjects. And then the second one, the half is like recognizing one object, with one subject. And then the non-pluralist is like recognizing many objects, with one subject.
Okay.
The question was about if in sutra there's mostly the followers of reason would be a larger group than the followers of scripture. I was just wondering in Chittamatra, are the true aspectarians, are there more Chittamatrians who are true aspectarians than false? Like, what's the main?
대코란이 가까요. 야나 롱기지나도 리페지나도 가까요. 그래서.
말만 못하다. 아주 루미제다 리베전에서는 리베전한테 망하여 그랬어.
야.
나시대네다.
그때 간디하면 내 직진
남대마다 남도 빠지나 간대 망하여 그랬어.
그저 아무다.
킬링이.
간디나 간디나.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
What does it mean exactly, mere conglomeration?
그래서 맞아. 세븐하고 전에 가르치고다 나가는데. 나서
찾아봐. 나서님에 봐.
네.
이제 찾더니는 봐. 내가 이제 세운 통 말했어. 그 차비비라면서 가게 깔라카카카카 통통을 말했어.
Like when you see like a yellow and a red, blue, and all this, so when you see clearly separate like that, that's more clear. So when it's not clear, but you can see like shade up all this, together. That's what it means, like mere conglomeration.
네. 내 삶나 지지는 당보되게 양면으로도 그러면 이치를 시바지 공으로 용거도. 테레비잖아. 그래. 테레비에나 깔살 맞아 뭐뭐 저왔는데 그 시바리를 가가 고로.
And I think the first one makes more sense. The equal number of subject and object. Like if you have a different subject, right? I mean, different object. If you have a white object, red object, blue object, and then a mind which sees, which cognizes the blue object, and that very mind cognizes the red object, or it has to be a separate mind.
What about the conglomeration? Like, they used the example of a butterfly's wing, and sometimes you don't even, unless you look really close, you might not even see different colors. You just see sort of pattern,
Yeah.
that you wouldn't see individual colors. It would just appear as.
그때 담아쳐. 찾더니는 뭐 찍어. 대체 담아쳐.
Yeah, so that's the last one, the non-pluralist, right?
Oh, okay. So,
주파지 독에 와지 이 코랑은 카카가 뭐 여와지는 뭐 투마토 와지 이 친구는 가시에도 그 찾더니는 뭐 찍게 잘
The mere conglomeration also from the object side and also from the subject side. The object appears as blurry, mix of all these different color, nothing clear, separate, clearly separate from each other. And then from the mind, from the subject side also, when you see the object, it seems like that.
내 지적을 내가 전화해. 지적을 내가 찍마다 제일 없으면 왔어. I'm not doing that. 아니 이바득 소로 싫어. 공원에서 뭐 세번도 타지 까부도 유시었어. 세번도 I cannot do two things together like the lagdo.
You say, like Westerners, they have like saying, you finish one thing first and then you move to the second thing. You can't do two things together like that. That's like
Don't bother me like that. 하얀 것도 오가다 시험 명이 배워도 네팔에다 자가는 그 강에 쳐도 버리면 내도.
When like the Nepalese and Tibetans, who are not very organized, they do everything together, mix up everything and do together. That's like the non-Buddhist.
되는 가지 누가지 샘 솜미가 나라 가지 소소 따서 맞아 버려. 네가 코테 아니 레벤 쇼투 아니 오마제가 두나라 까빼 뭐 무슨.
And so this is again, different schools, different thoughts of the Chittagong school, and the explanation of this is really clearly given by Shantarakshita. She was Shantarakshita.
내가 나 뭐야. 단데서 고니터 내가 가서 자셔자 내 말은 또 달랍도 다 점단 노선들이 요래시.
So this is the different views, or different thoughts, the different proponents have. We can't say this is exactly how it is, and this is not like that. You can't say that. This is it, and this is not it. You can't say that.
야한테 빼자카지는 될라고 개박하지. 근데 준수 빼자디나 샤바게 준수 차니 봐도 공화셔서만이 노르데샤시. 니빠티 ndetodo 아니 준수 차니 봐도 되래샤. 아니 스마디게 ndetodo 아니 공화셔서 봐도 되지. 되니 고니 고람 놓으셔야 돼. 내 랑에 둑만 통수 고수 고뇨.
And then there's also other scholars who says that there has been a mistake in the sequence of the explanation, and so there's the last one, the non-pluralist level, which is like the mere conglomeration of the object and subject. It should be the half ages, and then it says cognizing one object with one mind, and should be the non-pluralist.
yes.
One more question. So this is very confusing to me. The last sentence, the aspect, where you have aspect of mere conglomeration is produced, right? In an aspectless manner. That makes no sense to me.
네, 찾으시는 바 바바당.
It does not appear, but an aspect of the mere conglomeration appears, and from the subject side, apprehending the aspect of each different color, not produced, but apprehending a mere conglomeration is produced. Does it make sense? Read it one more time.
So
You guys make sense?
non-pluralist, the last sentence,
Yeah.
the aspect of the mere conglomeration is produced in an aspectless manner.
Okay, who are
Where is that?
Yeah.
Or maybe, well, I have a different.
In my book.
Yeah.
okay. Okay, Jennifer or Bob, you can read.
It says, okay, from the object side, an aspect of each different color, blue, yellow, etc., does not appear, but an aspect of the mere conglomeration appears.
Yeah.
From the subject side, a consciousness apprehending the aspect of each different color, blue, yellow, etc., is not produced, but a consciousness apprehending the mere conglomeration is
It's
produced.
produced, yeah.
You sample.
That's not what you said.
No, like
She said aspect.
it's supposedly it's the same text, but it's a different.
Maybe edited. Or different translation, is it? Or
Sam, Jennifer, you Sam?
I have the other one
I've
too.
seen
I
it
like this one
broadcast,
better.
yeah.
This is the one you're. Okay.
Okay, can you guys
9%
can you explain for him what he's reading one? Can you explain that? Not change the words.
I'm not sure I understood that one.
Right, this is like, it was just.
What they said. 이제는 그런데 놓치지 않아. 그런데 개박하시 그 남자는 남에서도 굳이 오장도.
Maybe that's from the different scholar who were saying that what was written here is mistaken.
그시랑 난 되게 지점에 송조된 내 노르데샤스 라는 데 용.
And there are some scholars, they say that this is according to the Jisung Gyaltsen, right? And they said what Jisung Gyaltsen wrote is mistake.
내가 다 대가 뒤마셔서니.
Don't write that.
맹무지 오케이. 다 너도 같이 샘슨 남주 샘슨에게 따와된 감도 니네니랑 감도 저와도 빼 나오는 걸 나가시.
So they say that the Chitta Martin's view is very similar to our way of seeing the things.
강조선은 배 바다에서 뭐 자라마라고 그거 시버지게 도구도 삼도 와야 대응을 다 버려. 근데 봐 십자지나 꼭 가가 또 공부라 여러.
So when we don't think about it, then we just think that we have only one mind, and that one mind sees all these different things, right? But when we really separate it, then it makes sense that okay, so the mind which sees blue, it doesn't see the red, or the mind which sees the red doesn't see yellow like that.
나 kuppeja de. 바다는 지금 동호회 동문에 이런 동호회 말했어. 배제는
이기 직시하기 시작부터 가가였어.
가가시 그랬어. 근데 이게 그냥 가가가시 춤이 10만 원 숨지나 버렸어. 가시게 가시 말에 가가 그랬어.
And also, I mean, we might have heard that, right? So the like we have 26 alphabets in English, right? But the mind that knows the the A, doesn't know the B. So it's a separate mind which knows the B, and then there's a separate mind which knows C, and then separate mind which knows D. It's not the same mind. So there are like 26 alphabets just like that. There are 26 minds, different minds.
내가 바다는 이 시버지기시고서 동그랬어.
But in our mind, we think that it's just one mind that knows all this.
앞으로 빼가는 데는 효고 자료나 나 지기 잡아야나 바다는 잡도 지기 잡아야 돼. 고강가 봐요 그랬어.
So we have infinite minds.
Infinite minds, infinite knowledge. 쉐바스 양카와 있는 거예요. 나도 일단 쉐바스에다 하는 아주 좋은데 지금 가서 지금 샤워라나.
무슨 거 시다 시바. 유튜브 시바 카카카 이랬어.
Infinite wisdom.
제가 대유에랑 가서 시바
The wisdom is a mind, right? It's a kind of mind. So there's the one man mind. There's like the subtle mind, I would say, the man mind that goes from life to life. That's only one. So only one mind, but then you can have like branches of the mind, like the wisdom. Like so, one wisdom is a mind, two wisdom is a mind. So you have an infinite wisdom, infinite knowledge.
It's the subject and object become one.
뭐
What do you mean, subject and object become one?
How many minds, like, I'm looking here, how many minds do I have right now?
you have hundreds of minds. So you see 100 different things.
Exactly.
It shows you 100 different things.
100 different minds.
Because this is the example. It's really scientific, right? If you shoot this 1,000 pages, you think just one time, but it's not. You have, go to the progress.
It goes through all these different pages, right? Or then, like, if there's 1,000 pages, it goes through 1,000 pages. To us, it looks like it's going through just one page.
일단 테레비 따지는데 고래.
But scientifically, that's true, right? That it's going through 1,000 pages, right?
나 대는 나도 제가 코페셔래. 지금 동굴 당원에 있는 반말이 대다 시발을 얘기하고 그래서 골라가다.
That's what he's saying. The first one is saying that equal number of
Out of
subjects.
all this field, I have a direct perception.
Yeah, you can see all different things. 몇 가지 변화 깔까지까지 하고 또 깔을 찍어 안 먹어. 얘들은 오늘 시버가 요소는 너 들어.
제가 가와요.
나 까부싱한테 마보시네 가지 키우면 너. 마보시오지 까부싱면 너. 세보싱면 너.
So some people they can't know the different colors. They only know the red. They don't know they can't tell or they can't know the white. And then those who knows white can't know the yellow like that. So to them, it's true. Like there are that many mind as many objects there are.
제가 다 텔레카에 시바데 담원에 대존 쇼송하다 담보 시바지 존송하다 담원 마시야 돼 간을. 네네네. 아드님이.
제가 가서
나 담보 여와지 되네 고치 존쇼네 하모고 자르바다 담원에 대 마기가 되네 간에.
So that kind of people, before at the beginning they have this mind which knows all these different colors, right? But then later they become like that, or they were like that, born like that.
No.
Colorblind?
The
Like
color,
you can't see blue and green look like the same color.
same color.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think people run like that.
born like that, right?
So if I look at this flower and I close my eyes and I meditate, that flower has 100 pieces. Now it's in my mind only. I have 100 minds. That would be logical, right?
They 100 months to possess the issue. Once you come what the teacher issue get.
Yes, those minds are produced by the sense consciousness. So you had that many sense consciousness. The sense consciousness seeing object 1, object 2, object 3, like that, so that
According to okay.
then you have that many mental consciousness produced from those sense consciousness.
But I thought you couldn't have a similar type of mind at the same time. Like, how can you have two eye consciousnesses at the same time?
Tande ko tanda de lo so do ya. Similar they your
Yes.
years labo ta kan shi.
Yes, according to this, yes, there are two minds at the same time.
Jinyamdo kunyamdo ngam ka thong do ten rawo ko do ngam ka thong do.
But it makes sense, right? Because you're seeing the blue and you're seeing the red and all, when you look all together at one time, you see all of them there, right? And I'm looking all three of you and I can see all three of you like that.
I wonder if it's really happening all at the same time, though. I mean,
Don't worry about the reality. This is what the school is saying.
So where would the Zen school fall in this continuum? Would they be mind, are they mind only?
This is my wonder, yeah, we're talking about the mind.
No, we're talking about it, but I mean, like, where does the Zen?
Oh, Zen, okay.
uh,
I think we're gonna ask.
What was that? What was that? I'm sorry.
Zen, they go, Suchigo, and I thought I'm killing this. Zen.
Okay, so they're not part of that.
No, I don't know what they believe. Yeah. We think scientifically,
Scientifically, which one makes more sense? One mind for one
I
object?
think about it for a while. Because when I think, it's like the object, separate object, it's the mind that creates the separation of this is the beginning of this object, this is the end of this object. I think that comes from the mind, not from the object.
Mhm.
So and that's why I kind of was thinking of the third one, where you see everything.
Nothing clear.
Well, it's the mind that sort of says this makes different pieces and objects.
Mhm.
But that's more the pressing ego view.
Yeah, what you guys think? You guys sleeping there very quiet. There you have something else. We went to the science museum. Okay. That 저는 도 고시했다만데 나도 나바랑가 나는데 좀 다서 그나 예타마다 몽보요지. 저는 내대생도 다시 더 가냐면 내서 말하는데 요래 생각으로더니 수수까지.
So anyway, so this is different assertions of the different school. There are different schools like that in Buddhism, and they have different assertions like that. Doesn't mean that you have to, you have to accept all of them. Whichever makes sense to you, you can accept that.
아니바 남듬바다. 아니 남듬발이나 대남듬이. 다 남듬발나 지체 남듬바다 점에 남듬바니 요래스.
And then now the next is the false expectorian, right? So the false expectorian has two kinds also. It's tainted false expectorian and the untainted false expectorian.
그래도 인지노인데 대신에 오더라도 근데 지체는 점이는 대신하고 싶은. Do you find anything to example this?
You find an example of the tainted false expectorian and untainted false expectorian.
All right. Ever you found something?
No, I did not.
아까 간지 샘지 뭐라 말이 파셔지 아니 what is it?
in this book, Cutting Through Appearances, it says that it is said that the false aspectarians are two types: tainted false aspectarians and non-tainted false aspectarians. It is said that the tainted false aspectarians are so called because they assert that the nature of the mind is polluted by the latencies of ignorance and that the non-tainted false
Oh, okay.
expectatorians are
Oh,
so
that-
formed
that's-
because they assert that the entity of the mind is not in the least polluted by the latencies of ignorance.
Yeah, that is correct. Well, that depends on that. That thing that to me, I'm just telling you more than they
So-
take it.
So the tainted by the propensities of ignorance is the tainted, right? And then untainted, by the propensities of ignorance for the untainted.
The same thing all Mari or Mari Pacha Lipishumal, Pachalada. Pachalag them. What Pachalag?
Maripacha, right?
Mari Pachagal, Lepa, the Badana and the Tichana, Malepana, Times.
So that which is the entity of mind or the nature of the mind polluted by the propensities of ignorance is called tainted. And then the nature or the entity of mind that is not polluted by the propensities of ignorance is called untainted.
In the same thing all Mari Pachal Lepashua.
Can the nature of mind be polluted by
Same
propensities
thing
of
all
ignorance?
Rajugasawara, did not mix the same to Mela.
So the nature of the mind is clear light, right? Especially the mind on the school.
Yeah. Karo. Gio Karo. Those all can touch the regional.
So the nature of the mind is clear light, right? So how can the nature of mind be polluted by the propensities of ignorance?
Yeah.
So the tainted, like they say, tainted false expectancy. It's not true, right?
Clear light can't. be.
Huh?
Clear light cannot. be.
Yeah, if it's tainted, then it's not clear light.
Same Rajin, no more was.
Because the nature of the mind is not a delusion, right?
The same more promotion.
Yeah, so the entity or the nature of the mind is not polluted.
The tomorrow, the same to Tower.
So that the mind, the taint, the pollution, is temporary, right?
Yeah, that's
Adventitious.
Adventitious, yes.
the same thing all Moripache Lepa show you the Omada.
So can the nature of the mind be polluted by the propensities of ignorance?
There's a different interpretation in here too that says that
What
when
is that?
they refer to the tainted, it said up until Buddhahood that they're referring to.
Somebody but the song. Remember, so 10 do matter. Tandangazuji, same Rajalation, Thomas Weber. Some Majimilla.
So if it is nature of the mind, then it cannot be cleaned, right?
Right? No, we think.
The nature of,
Ever the talent
I mean, the whole point is if clear light's here, then you have the karmic mind.
no, clear like inside here, outside or the delusions just
Right,
cover,
right.
but inside clear. But if the nature of the clear light is also cover or the delusion, then
No.
you cannot know where to
pollution
practice.
In clear light mind.
Yeah.
But in the mind stream, of course, there's pollution.
Yes.
Oh, of
Who
course.
would be omniscient?
You know, they thought that generation trade and Namjiti Kajina lovers.
But that's how they
How they explain.
tainted and untainted, that's how this is. The entity of the mind is polluted by the propensities of ignorance.
Okay, that is shaggy. That and the chance of going share some of them to look at it. Look, money, tell them to bond of each
So yeah, try to find different sources to read about these three, the division of the true expectarian, and then the two division of the false expectarians. That is similar to science. Very interesting.
Okay. 가산 도대와대 주문을 만다고 지라는 것이 사람이 남자세.
And according to on the Bible, and then Southern Digger, one of the category was left out, right? So there's the presentation of grounds and paths.
나중에 주보다 사제를 했어. 이게 전체는
all
뭔가 사람이 나라서.
of them.
그렇지 숨기 초사비다 롱롱 제키 내가도 초사비 진텐지 산치도 산치 켈마이노스.
This is when the holders of the three lineage collect merit, they do so on all four learning paths. And it is by reason of this that the Buddha's form aggregate is asserted to be a Buddha, right?
어때 시라모도
Buddha's form aggregate is asserted to be Buddha.
시라모도 가로서.
So that's different from the Vaibhashika, is it?
Yes.
아마왜 산지도 산치 켈랭그래.
Does Vaibhashika say that Buddha's form aggregate is Buddha?
No.
No.
산지 말해.
I see.
산지도 가 산지 켈네. 두데라로.
Why? Because it's a true suffering, right? True suffering. That's why.
Because? 아멜레니 보면 지바레스.
Because that's the continuation, of the aggregate, continuation of the aggregate that derived from karma and delusion.
Okay. And do you guys read the last week, 2 weeks like homework? Or different kind of minds? Any questions?
I do have a question.
Okay, which one?
Well, for the homework was we were supposed to read about correctly assuming consciousnesses and
Yeah, those things, yeah.
awarenesses to object appears comes not ascertained. But in doing that, I was thinking about direct perceiver. So I'll save that question. It was about a direct perceiver.
Okay, what question?
That maybe people have questions about what the homework was about.
Some question?
Yeah, I had one question. I wasn't quite clear. It said, in terms of, let's see, the inattentive consciousness or the mental direct perceiver, it says, example, are mental direct perceivers in the continuum of an ordinary being that apprehends the 5 objects, forms, and so forth. I think sort of assuming the meaning was if your mind is, your attention is on a sense consciousness, then the mental direct perceiver is inattentive. Is that the correct meaning of that example?
Normal, the
다티지 아니 수수주제 수수 등한 준비 이징을 다 왔어. 아니 미셰 시다 온샤 나와서지 온샤가 나는다 이실 받나고 다 빠진데 뒤에 tundu 쉬우제다. 이실 배 tundu 이 tundu 됐어. 이거 내가 나마도 내 도마를 쓰는 도면. 근데 이시 나가 장비 온샤가 이 수수 등한 준비 이시가 장비 온샤가 제고 이시 제고 온샤가 내가 때데 이 tundu 쉬우제다. 아니 나도 다 이데데서 내 도면 내 도면. 나와인 바지 만와지.
So like the old for like we talked about this, right? Ordinary beings, the mental perception, mental direct perception is very short, very short. Of course, mental perception is long later, but the direct perception that appears at the beginning, right? Soon after, you see the object and you think that's object, right? So moment that you think it's already like mental consciousness. So the mental direct perceiver that follows sense consciousness. It's very short, like it's so short that you can't really think that this is what it was, like so. But it had appeared. Without that, you will not have the following mental consciousness from there, right? So it has appeared, but you can't really grasp it. Just like you talking to him, and then she talked to you, but because you're talking to you, you heard her saying something, but your mind is towards it like that, So to our mind, it appears, but we can't really grasp it.
Okay.
This is too short, very short, and we can't say, that was the mental direct perceiver at that time.
그는 남중에도 변에 또 맞은 일이 들어 변에 시바디게 또네 강사디게 봐 다트 강사디게 하고 두거나 시바 똑스 시바 콘 당연히 강사라 또 맨날 또 맞고라고 이러와.
So like even the object appears to you, but then you have to recognize it, right? So if even though the object appears to you, but if you have not recognized it, and you can't say you have recognized it.
So then does that mean that any mental direct perceiver in the continuum of an ordinary being is necessarily an inattentive consciousness.
잉에 맞아야 돼. 잉에 빼툰들이 잉에 돼야 돼. 왕해가 또 잉에 돼야 돼. 빼툰들이 그래.
나는 말을 잡아줬어.
아시 맨도 안 가서 소지고 가면 버지래.
여기보다.
잉에가 더 왕해지로.
Yeah, so that mental direct perceiver in the ordinary being, that derived from the sense direct perceiver is very short. Yeah, so you can say it is inattentive consciousness.
아니라고 맨도 다 돼. 자신자 나를 간지 너다
Yeah, but you
소소삼
can
시.
depend on
오케이.
Like if it induces ascertainment, right?
Okay. The questions? Do you saw homework? Do you saw homework?
you read the homework.
Final question.
Okay. What are your question?
Question was about a yogic direct perceiver, according to the Sattva. So I was thinking, in going back through this, so the appearing object of a direct perceiver is synonymous with the thing, right? In Sattva, like, and so the fact that if the appearing object of a direct perceiver is a thing and therefore impermanent, how does a yogic direct perceiver have a direct realization of emptiness, which is permanent? Does that make sense?
만족하더라?
나중 무슨 게 제가 나에 되나? 나는 뭐가 그랬어. 뭐가 그랬어. 근데 내가 나중 무슨 또 그나 돈이 또 알아. 돈이란 게 알아. 근데 돈이 난 뭐 말았어. 다 벌었어.
내가 난중에서 또 얘기나? 뭐 보는 거.
뭐가 그랬어.
네, 해놔야 되네.
What does it say here? If it's the object of the yogi direct perceiver, it has to be a thing.
No, but according in the Sattva, they would say that let's see, so the appearing object of a direct perceiver is and the thing are synonymous. So, yeah.
Ale 뭐보다 안에 가서 나중 무슨 나유되라. 더 지레스기도스.
알레 나이가. 알레 나이다.
나유다 안에 나 가서 뭐보다 그래서 나중 무슨 나유돼. 더 지레스기도스.
무보다 나중 와서 나이 때버리 대가 쉬이 맞고.
Thing and the appearing object of the yogi direct perceiver.
Well, just a direct perceiver in general.
Oh, direct perceiver.
The appearing object of the direct perceiver is
뭐보다 나유 되지.
내가 나이 되지.
무슨 다?
내가 나이 되지.
Is it a thing or the direct perceiver and the appearing object of the direct perceiver?
내가 나이 된 것보다 되지. 내가 나이 된 것보다 되지.
So yeah, so the appearing object now of the direct perceiver and thing are synonyms, right? Yeah.
나이 맞다 제 말했어. 제다는 나이고 말했어. 본이 그걸 나이 그제 말해.
So that's the emptiness is not an appearing object. It's the
나이도
absence.
제대로. 제 도벽이 제 나이
okay,
시박가나
so yogic direct perceiver that so the appearing object is not
The emptiness is not the appearing object.
맞대.
돈이 나 나유 말했어.
나이 시박가나요. 제 도벽이 제대로 와. 제가 네, 내가 나이 된 것보다 지어 대열 때 전화해 다다래. 그래서 돈이 때까지 나중에서 나이 많이 있어. 유인스. 내라고 있다.
Yeah, so the emptiness, yeah, you're right. So the appearing object and the appearing object of the direct perceiver and thing are mutually inclusive, and so the emptiness is not the appearing object of the yogi direct perceiver.
이나 당에 내 대선당 같이 선바 좀 마저 해 주.
That's what I'm thinking, but I will have to look into that too.
야.
because otherwise you couldn't have
너
permanent.
또 바꾸나 요?
시 말 나이 시바클래요.
너는 싫어 보여.
시 도백이 시 대가도 노래나요. 나 시,
뭐지?
혹시 도박지 뭐 시에서 돼. 레 삼대지로 대도범을 요 말했어. 나이 시바 사상 요랬어.
Like the appearing object and apprehended object, so apprehended object, what's
나이 시바클래요. 시 도백이 시. 시에서 레 삼대지로 대도범을 요 말했어.
the appearing object, there's appearing object to every subject, every mind, but the apprehended object is only the object of the cognizing mind. So you have to say, oh, this is it, like that. So you have to apprehend that. This is like
So
this.
appearing object and apprehended objects, aren't they the same for a direct perceiver?
No, it's different.
That's what it is.
Okay.
제가 도배 나이 세대 따버리거나 대신한 거였어. 대신에 그 이거 많이다. 대신되는 것들은 trude를 따버려. 도배 나이 따버렸어.
The appearing object of the consciousness, of the conception, is prominent. The conception, the conceptual mind, the appearing object of the conceptual mind is prominent.
오바세대 그 대신되는 나걸 그 컨라지 라나라 나걸 따버려야 돼.
So the appearing object, for the conceptual mind is, like say, is not the cup, it's the meaning duality of the cup. The meaning, so to the conceptual mind, the cup doesn't appear. It's the mind thinking, oh, this is the cup. So it's not the cup, it's the mind thinking this is the cup, like that. So that part, that is the meaning generality, that appears, to the conceptual mind. And so that, is prominent.
내에서 나이 된 거부터 시작돼. 딱방에서 나가 말아. 내에서 나이 세대 인심지 안 보기 하고서 말아. 샘대 그러나지. 내에서 그러나지. 같이 하는 거잖아. 된다. 나중 가서 나이도 따고 이시차대로. 그 오시면서 딱 그런 이 그런 거지. 준비차. 내제 그리고 셔비찬로 이라 셔비찬로 오시. 뭐고 자로 된다 면도.
But to the direct perceiver, the appearing object has to be a thing. Is the thing that appears, to the direct perceiver. You're not thinking that, oh, this is like that. It's not the conceptual mind, not like conceptual mind. The direct perceiver is different.
That's my question, because I was trying, if you say that the hearing object of a direct perceiver is necessarily impermanent, then how can you have emptiness as the object of a direct perceiver, since emptiness is permanent?
시단 대 가로 돈이
너희 말해서 그래.
나이 말이야.
So for that very reason, emptiness cannot be appearing object, because it's not thing.
다디 나이 가려서나 딱 뭐랬어 다 가려서나 아니 다 다음에 가려다 다음에 또사가 유대 이 나 범에다가 돈이 오나 범바디 나요. 아니 돈이 됐다 근데 영원해.
Like when you realize when you're perceiving emptiness, you have to perceive the emptiness of something, right? Like the emptiness of a cup. So the cup is the appearing object. Appearance is cup appears to you, and then you think, oh, the cup is empty of inherent existence. So that is like example, right? So that's inherent. So that you're thinking about the cup being empty of existing independently, let's say, right? And as a substantially, or what do you call that? Empty of
Inherent existence.
substantially,
self-supporting,
self-supportively, substantially.
existing.
Yeah, so existing, like so, like that. When you think like that, right? So that part, is an apprehended object.
Okay.
And but the cup itself is the appearing object.
Oh, I see.
가대 내가 단단하다 나가 대제제.
That's my idea, though.
I just learned, okay.
Okay.
Okay. 제가 나이도 쉐이커 때문에 나이도 쉐이커가 있는 것이.
Yes, apprehended object and the appearing object are different.
Okay. Then any other questions? You have any questions? Yeah, Deborah.
So in Satantrika, under definition of correct the divisions of the correct assumption, the fifth one is correct assumption with a correct but unestablished reason. does that mean you might know the words, but you don't really have an understanding of the meaning? You sort of, your understanding is rather superficial? Is that what unestablished reason means?
영어바디 그래서
이치에
영어바디.
이치에 대해 다
이제 말이베 이치스. 이제 때라 많이 봐. 이제 maybe 있죠. 아니 이제 가위 있죠.
There's an example given.
the example.
Mind apprehending sound as impermanent by the sign product. Right? In the continuum, a person who has not ascertained with the valid cognition that the sound is impermanent is an example of a correct assumption with the correct but unestablished reason. Because although product is a correct sign to establish sound as impermanent, that correct sign has not been established by that person.
이제 가긴 사실에
This is nobody. You should nobody.
이시에 달려 담마다간 불렀다고. 이게
맞아. 또 집에도 안 담아도
담마다시비 마단 담마다가 세면 망이 가사지 시에 달려 담마다간 불렀다고 나게 되는데 시와 담마다베도 아다 예야 텐데 가사디 진짜 망이죠. 담마다가 세면 망이 가사기 지지 담마다가 에마 세면 아무것이 근데 예마이나야 담마다가 간에 시와레스 담마다가 세면 망이 가사기 지지 시다지 담마다 불렀다고때 요새는 시와 담마도 진짜 다래서 야나 텐데 가사디 진짜 양다티 때나 먹으시 이제 야다도 콜 하고 말했어. 담마다가 나게도 왔어. 해다 시와를 남았다. 담마다가 간에 시와를 콜랍시 말했어. 담마다시 망하더라 너. 담마다시 배. 그래. 담마다가 세미 망이베 가사가 지지 시타지 담마도 로타고 에벤세제데 시와 담마다가 되베 어다 예야 텐데 가사디 진짜 양다 때때나 먹으시.
This doesn't make sense, right? Because the very reason why you're using the product, to establish the sound as impermanent is because the person has not ascertained the sound as impermanent, right? I don't know sound is impermanent. And then somebody says, yeah, sound is impermanent. That's what, because it is a product. And now it's, oh, okay, because it's product, so therefore it is impermanent.
Sorry, what? Did you say sound?
Yeah, sound is impermanent, right? We say sound is impermanent, but I don't know the sound is impermanent. And then you come and say, oh, sound is impermanent because it is a product. And if it is a product, then it has to be impermanent. Sound is product, therefore it is impermanent. And then I say, okay, all right, now the sound, now because of that reason being product, now I understand that sound is impermanent.
대해서 말 간제데 시와이나 마타바비 차와 하모그 가사지기
Wait a minute, I'm
하모 가사지기 근데 다들 마타바라 간데 시와를 발랑하디 코지데야다 하고 말했어. 시당 시와데 드라마도 지데야다 그 시와나 마타바비 차와 하모가 인자 될 하고 말했어. 들으라고.
But if I don't know that if it is a product, it has to be impermanent. I don't know that, right? And to me, you say, oh, because it's a product, so what? Yeah, but it's a correct reason. It's a correct reason, but it doesn't establish to me. That's what I think it is.
Right.
So not as somebody. Of course, that has to be a doubt. You can't know the sound is impermanent. If you know the sound is impermanent, then you don't need a reason, right? So it's not correct to say to someone who doesn't know sound is impermanent. It's not. No. Of course, I don't know the sound is impermanent. That's why I need a reason, to prove that sound is impermanent, right? But then if you say, oh, because it is a product, and I said, that still doesn't make sense to me because I don't know that product is impermanent. And so to somebody who doesn't know that product, is necessarily impermanent, to that person you say, oh, sound is impermanent because it's a product. And it is correct reason, but it doesn't establish. I think that's what it is. Make sense, Deborah?
Yeah, sort of. Thank you.
Sort of?
Yeah, so that's why it's assumption versus an inference. Because
Exactly.
if they knew that it was a product, it would be an inference.
Yeah.
저는 남지 다시 못하시 왜 꽃다나 다르고 고연한다. 딱하니 콜만 그 시간에 맞다 하고 말. 나 텔랍라고 그랬어.
Yeah, so usually, it is a correct reason, to say that, oh, sound is impermanent because it's product. But to somebody who doesn't know that if it is product, it has to be impermanent, to that person, if you say, oh, the sound is impermanent because it is product, then it is correct reason, but you do not establish it to that person.
Okay.
Thank you.
와야 다 주마 홍어 지든다 샘징 오라야 라지트마 쇼 요데 메시지 스페셜 옥쇼가.
Now the next question, one more question is it possible to pollute the nature of the mind or not?
나는 제너럴 대비 옥쇼 대비나 대 뒤도.
But in that cutting through the appearance book, has it written, right? It says the nature or the entity of the mind that is polluted by the propensities of ignorance is called tainted, right? Tainted expectorant.
내 배.
Tainted false expectorant.
너 배워서 뒤셔야 맞아. 다 개비줄 봐지 정말.
Right.
엠비아지 좀 쉬워래서.
So this is, I think, maybe later written by the Tibetan scholars, but I don't think it is in China. In the Indian scholars have written that way.
남녀도 출하는 때 라그래. 라이트 때 쉽게 그랬어.
They're just using it as what the definition of it.
Yeah, example.
Read.
이게 example야. 어디지? 아니 양주천다 난다. 섬도 나도 전임 받아 공원에서 그걸 삶다. 내 니지고 이런 거네.
I also, contemplate on that those three the true expectorians, the equal number of subject and object, of exist and non-pluralist.
Okay?
Pluralist.
Which one more makes sense? Okay? Okay, I think we stop that. It's wonderful to thank you, Rowan, to participate for that. It's not easy, sometimes not make sense, but it puts your good influence for our mind. Okay? Okay?
I just thought of a quick question.
Okay, what question?
Just real quick, I thought about this with the inattentive consciousness, and you said imprints. If Geshe is teaching, and like all of a sudden you're looking at your phone and you're teaching, but you're not listening, are you getting imprints?
Yes.
So you have an inattentive consciousness.
Since you heard, you can put influence.
You don't have ascertainment because you're focused on your phone. You still because
Influence, yeah. Influence words.
Yes, imprints is left, yeah.
먼저 그게 롱쇼라도 롱쇼가 아니 인지미 대신에 뭐 그냥 아무도 더더더 고든 얘는 그랬어. 제가 아무런 제가 베개가 롱나고 저도 이 고개 말에 가르쳐라는데 고든 그 롱통적으로 빠셔셔.
Yeah. So just like when you're taking the transmission, you just hear it and then you receive the transmission. Like it's honest, we'll be reading the scripture, right, and giving the transmission of the scripture. But you don't ascertain that. You only hear it. You only hear the sound, but you get the transmission. It's just like that.
I see. Okay, thank you.
제가 야 남주 롱 없대서 쇼가라야. 전에 많이는 그 말고 고고를.
Yeah, of course you have to hear something, but you don't have to ascertain it.
Okay.
And so but you can receive transmission in that way.
Okay. Okay, now we stop that. Therefore, I'm sure you guys also put imprints to tenets, all different kinds in our classes, okay? The markups also different books. You change
It's 99.9% the same.
1 point. No, it's important. The 1 point makes you confused. Okay, thank you.
Page 39, Thanksgiving Model Offering. Saji perki jukching me tok tram rira pingji ni degyen pati sangi jingdu nikte uwaki drop
Nonda.
pashu. It's on lame kute rapinjing namka kime chuk chugi padam rosan tempe gun me sasungi drawing unsel tatu negyuchi. Idam guru namandalakam niryatayam. From my two collections, vast is space that I have amassed from working with their practice for a great length of time. May I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose mind wisdom eye is blinded by ignorance. Even if I do not reach the state, may I be held in your loving compassion for all my life, Manjushri. May I find the best of complete fated paths in the teachings, and may I please all the Buddhas by practicing. Using skillful means drawn by the strong force of compassion, may I clear the darkness for the minds of all beings with the points of the path as I have discerned them. May I uphold the Buddha teachings for a very long time. With my heart going out with great compassion in whatever direction the most precious teachings have not yet spread, or once spread have declined, may I reveal this treasure of happiness and aid. May the minds of those who wish for liberation be granted bounteous peace, and the Buddha's deeds be nourished for a long time. My eagerness for life been completed due to the wondrous, virtuous conduct of the Buddhas and their children. May all human and non-human beings who eliminate adversity and make things conducive for practicing the excellent paths never be parted in any of their lives from the pure path created by the Buddhas. Whoever makes an effort in accordance with the tenfold plan of virtuous practices, may they always be assisted by the mighty ones, and may oceans of prosperity spread everywhere. In that snow mountain encircled land, source of every benefit and joy, may Lord Tenzin Gyatso Chen Mercy, Savior of the Snowland teachings and transmigratory beings who extensively clarifies the path to unifies emptiness and compassion. For the lotus in the hand, Lord Tenzin Gyatso, I beseech, may all your holy wishes be fulfilled. Page 49, the short long line prayer for Lamas Uparipate. You who uphold the subdued small way, who serve as the bountiful bearer of all, sustaining, preserving, and spreading much in us victorious doctrine, who masterfully accomplishes magnificent prayers honoring the three jewels, Savior of myself and others, your disciples, please live long. Page 57, prayer dedication. Through this virtue may I swiftly, having gained Guru Buddha's fame, place each and every sentient being without exception in that state. Precious supreme Bodhi mind, may it where unborn arise, and where born never decline, but increase forevermore.
Okay,
Just a reminder about Guru Puja at 7 o'clock tomorrow, both in person and on Zoom.
thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Geshe. Thank you, Dr. John.
Thank you. Good night, good morning. Good
Yes,
morning.
well.
Well,